Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads and welcome to my kitchen. Today is cookie day. I'm going to be making some Benne cookies. Yes, that's what I said, Benne cookies, and they're made with sesame seeds, and I've already toasted a half a cup of sesame seeds. I'm making just half of the recipe because a full recipe makes 7 dozen little Benne cookies or Benne wafers. Some people call them Benne wafers. So I don't need that many cookies today. I just need something to satisfy this craving for a good cookie. So let me tell you what I'm going to put in the Benne cookies. I'm starting out with 1 stick of butter, and let this sit out so that it'll be soft when you start working with it. 1 cup of light brown sugar, and it calls for 1 egg, the full recipe, so that means a half an egg. But I'm telling you, I bought these for large eggs, and if that's not a small egg, I don't know what a small egg is. So I won't use quite all of it because I'm just making half of the recipe. So anyway, we'll see how we can divide this small egg, but we'll do it. I'm using 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, and I've sifted it and measured, and of course I'm using White Lily all-purpose flour. To that I'm going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'll put this back in my sifter and I'll sift it and then set it aside until I get ready to add it to my other ingredients. I'll be using 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla, and then I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of butter and nut flavoring. To that, to the cookie dough, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of toasted sesame seeds, and 1/2 cup is roughly 2 ounces of sesame seeds. We'll preheat our oven to 350 degrees. I'll use a cookie sheet, and I think that I'm going to drop mine in little small amounts so that I can make a round cookie. Now you could use a cookie press if you wanted to. Put your cookie dough in your cookie press and just, make a long strand and then just break them up. But I'm going to make little round cookies today. So let's get busy and make these cookies. Okay, let's make these delicious cookies. I'm starting out with my butter in this little bowl that I have here, and it's probably a medium-sized bowl. So I'm just going to start my sugar creaming, and then I'm going to add, or start on butter creaming, and then I'm going to add my brown sugar, and I'm going to cream this together for a few minutes while we talk. I don't know about you, but I have had so much going on. Some of you have asked or said, I've been missing you. Well, it's not that I haven't wanted to post. We've just had so much going on at our house. We've had major house projects. We had to put a new roof on our house. We had to put a new water drainage system in our backyard, and I've been trying to get all that cleaned up and work in my garden, and we have a granddaughter that's getting married, so we just have lots of wonderful things going on in our lives right now, as I know you do too. So we're creaming our butter and our sugar, and now let's work on this egg. The full recipe calls for 1 egg, and I'm just going to mix this up because I feel like that I can just add a portion of it. I hope I can, because I don't want to add the whole egg. Actually, I should add about half of this, but I told you that it was a small egg. So I'm just going to watch me now and see how much I can pour in there. I think that's half. We're going to say it is anyway. So I'm just going to add that, mix the egg in. I love to make cookies. I don't know about you, and this is one that you could make with your grandchildren. So simple. Okay, now we're going to add our flour. Since I don't have a lot of flour to add, I'm just going to turn this little bowl up like this and add it. when you only have 2 hands to work with, you just do the best you can. So we're mixing that together. You can see our cookie dough is forming. I love anything with brown sugar. Just love anything with brown sugar. This is going to be so good. Okay, now I'm going to stop it and we'll add our flavorings. I'm going to add a fourth of a teaspoon of vanilla and a fourth of a teaspoon of butter and nut flavoring. That gives it a special flavoring. Some recipes call for maple flavoring, but I like to substitute and use the butter and nut flavoring in mine. So you really could use either. You could use a maple flavoring or you could use butter and nut along with your vanilla flavoring. Okay. So now we're ready for our sesame seed. And I lightly toasted mine. I put mine on a little baking sheet, spread it out, just like I would if I was baking, toasting pecans. Put it in the oven on 300 and then set my timer by all means, because I would forget that. And just toast them until they are lightly brown. If you start smelling them, you've probably toasted too long. Okay. There's our cookie dough. How fast was that? It was pretty fast, wasn't it? With everything that people have going on in their lives, we need fast, quick, and simple. So I'm just going to rake it down. And I sprayed my cookie sheet with a no-stick vegetable oil. I just sprayed it lightly. Now you could put this in a cookie press if you wanted to make some long strands, but we're ready to dip our cookies and put them on a sheet. I also wanted to give you another tip. See, I sprayed this, but once I sprayed it, I don't know if you're like me, but I sprayed it and then I didn't feel like it was everywhere, so I just used this little brush that I have. I use it all the time, and I just went over my cookie sheet so that I would make sure that the entire cookie sheet was covered. So now I'm just going to dip very small amounts of the cookie dough, and I'll start here in the middle so that you can see it on my sheet, and I'm going to leave room for the cookies to spread. So I'll dip all of this, and then I'm going to put it in the oven on 350 degrees and bake them until they're lightly brown on top, or light brown on top. Once they get done, you want to always remember that you need to remove your cookies immediately from your cookie sheet and put them on a cooling rack. Otherwise, they're going to get too brown on the bottom. And I do that for all of my cookies unless the recipe says something differently, and if it does, then of course you would go by the recipe. So I'm going to dip the rest of these out, put them in the oven, and I'll be back. Okay, our cookies are done, and I want to tell you that this is my second batch. My first batch, I put the cookies too close together and they ran together, so you want to leave plenty of room for them to spread out as they bake. And also, I cut my heat back to 325 degrees, and it only takes 8 to 10 minutes to cook them. So these are ready to come out. They are a little brown around the edges. I think they're appearing browner in the video than they really are. But these are light, they're thin, they're crunchy, they are so, so good. Okay, folks, let's wrap this video up and enjoy some of these good cookies. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching Home with the Halsteads. Thank you for helping me make these Benne cookies, and they are delicious because I've already had some. I've got my kitchen all cleaned up and I've already tasted these, but I'm going to show them to you a little bit closer if I can without dumping them in the floor, and I'm going to try another one with you. So here we go. Here they are. I hope you can see them. And they are so, so delicious. I could eat my weight in these. They are so, so good. Have a blessed day. I'll see you again really, really soon.